Good evening, everyone. I'm Zac Sports. The biggest rivalry game in the SIAC between Albany State and the Fort Valley State took place in Columbus this afternoon. The Golden Rams have already locked up the Eastern Division crown, and beating their biggest rival put the cherry on top today. ASU wins by a final of 32-21. Quarterback Frank Rivers went 20 for 34 with 253 passing yards and 1 TD. Running back Jarvis Small rushed for 144 yards with 2 touchdowns. They will play in the next week in the SIAC championship game in Atlanta. Georgia wanted to avenge its devastating loss to the Florida Gators by taking it to the Kentucky Wildcats today, and boy did they ever. It began on the opening kickoff as Isaiah McKenzie goes untouched. He takes it to the house 90 yards for the kickoff return touchdown. The Dogs went up 7-0. Later in the first quarter, Hudson Mason, between 2 defenders, finds Chris Conley for the 15-yard touchdown pass. Georgia up 14. Now to the second quarter. Georgia up 11. Mason throws the 23-yard touchdown pass to Malcolm Mitchell. Dogs go up by 18. They would lead 35-24 at the half. Now to the third quarter, and the play of the day for the Bulldogs. Isaiah McKenzie, have a day, just making people miss. He takes it 59 yards for the score. All Georgia today as they win by a final score of 63-31. Georgia takes on Auburn next week. Now to another game on the gridiron between the Tech Yellow Jackets and the NC State. First and 10 at the NC State 16. Justin Thomas takes it to the edge of the end zone, diving it in for the TD. Jackets go up 7-0. Later in the first, NC State's Matt Days takes the handoff and has a gaping hole. Goes 17 yards untouched for the touchdown. Ensuing Georgia Tech drive, Sinyan Days goes up the middle and is gone. 53 yards to the end zone. Tech leads 14-13. In the second quarter. NC State's Jacoby Brissett going to the wrong jersey. He finds DJ White for the interception, and White goes in for the pick six, 21-13 Tech. Later, Brissett again on the rollout. Has no idea Tyler Marcords is about to unload on him, causing a fumble. Quayshawn nearly picks it up and runs it for 43 yards in the touchdown, and the route was on. The Jackets win by a final score of 56-23. They will face a tough opponent, Clemson, next week. As mentioned, the Bulldogs will take on the Auburn Tigers next week in Athens, but could Auburn get through Texas A&M? We'll take you to the second quarter. Texas A&M's Kyle Allen throws over the middle to Ricky Seals-Jones, who jukes one defender, then takes it in for the 23-yard touchdown. Aggies up 21-14. Just before half, Auburn's Daniel Carlson has his field goal blocked by A&M's Myles Garrett, and it gets scooped up by DeShazer Everett, who will take this one back 65 yards for the touchdown to end the half. 35-17 Texas A&M. Now in the fourth quarter, Auburn's Nick Marshall pump fakes and fires to the end zone and finds Auburn's Quan Bray for the 31-yard touchdown. Auburn cuts the lead to 7. Just under 7 minutes, Marshall fakes the handoff, then goes around the left end for a 6-yard touchdown, cutting the deficit to 3. Now under 3 minutes, Auburn trying to take the lead, and Marshall and Cameron Artis-Payne, it's a fumble. Texas A&M recovers. Auburn held their ground and got the ball back with just under a minute left, but as Marshall is changing the play, Auburn center Reese Dismukes snaps it, and Marshall isn't ready. A&M recovers again. Texas A&M takes down number 3 Auburn by a final of 41-38. The Atlanta Falcons head to Tampa Bay this weekend to take on the woeful Buccaneers. However, the Falcons aren't doing much better themselves as they are in the midst of a 5-game skid. They've lost 7 in a row away from the Dome. Kickoff is set for 1 o'clock at Raymond James Stadium. Remember this brawl last weekend between Jeff Gordon and Brad Keselowski? Eyes will be on Phoenix tomorrow as the Sprint Cup drivers take to the track again in the next round of the NASCAR playoff. The field will be trimmed from 8 drivers to 4 after Sunday's race. With that, there's a lot riding on this race this weekend. Brad Keselowski was asked if any of last week's distractions will have an impact on his driving this weekend.
My answer to all that other junk is, I plan on being in the sport for a long time. And, whatever happens there, I'll get through it like I have this past week. And if something was to happen, which is, doubtful. So I don't feel too bad about that.
Keselowski qualified second for Sunday's race at Phoenix. Denny Hamlin is on the pole. Jeff Gordon will start 7th. Your fishing game forecast for Sunday, you will have to get up early for the first peak in the good range at 3 a.m., but then Sunday afternoon we will see a peak in the excellent range at 4 p.m. And in case you missed it Thursday at the beginning of this football season, the Cincinnati Bengals cut Devin Still from the roster, but after the team found out Stillzar was suffering from stage 4 cancer, the team gave him his job back so he can have insurance. Ever since then, sales of Still's jersey went to benefit Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Thursday, Still's daughter Leah got a check from those jersey sales. $1.25 million will now be donated to fight pediatric cancer, and that is just an awesome, awesome way the Bengals honored him.
Certainly that should help with their medical expenses.
Definitely, definitely.
Thanks for joining us.